For the next 26 hours, nurses across England will be on strike, bringing significant disruption to the health service. It is the third walkout by members of the Royal College of Nursing Union in just 4 months. NHS bosses say this action is the most worrying so far. For the first time, nurses will walk out of critical services such as intensive care, although some exemptions have been made to provide urgent care in some hospitals. The Health Secretary has described the action as premature and disrespectful. Here's our political correspondent, Carl Dinnan.
The Royal College of Nursing marked the beginning of their strike this evening with an online event.
8 o'clock, this marks the start of our biggest, most intense strike yet.
But over the weekend, they have agreed more cover in intensive care and emergency departments than originally planned.
Even on strike days, we are very safe, and we have a duty, colleagues, to protect life and limb.
Although more extensive than previous strikes, this one will only last until midnight tomorrow following a legal ruling. The Health Secretary said that by going ahead with it, the RCN are disrespecting other unions.
It's still the case there will be significant disruption to patients, and I think that is disrespectful to the other trade unions that are part of the NHS Staff Council, who will be meeting on Tuesday in order to vote on the fair and reasonable settlement that we agreed with them some weeks ago.
Some NHS unions have accepted the pay offer, whilst others, like the nurses, have not. If Tuesday's Staff Council meeting of unions and employers accepts it, the Health Secretary may give staff the pay rise anyway. But regardless of that, the RCN are voting on further strike action.
If he wants to avert further industrial action by our members, which we will reballot mid-May, that will close mid-June, and then we could see the outcome of that ballot will depend, obviously dependent on it. We could see our members taking industrial action right up to Christmas.
But more strikes are by no means guaranteed. The RCN's leadership had recommended accepting the current pay offer, and the number of members rejecting it, 54%, was not overwhelming. The decision on whether to strike again over an offer that may already be landing in nurses' pay packets will be a tough one.
So, Carl, it was just said in that report there, the idea that the strikes could go up until Christmas. Is that likely, do you think?
I think it's touch and go, actually, because when you take into account turnout, the proportion of nurses who rejected the current offer is only 1/3 of the total membership of the Royal College of Nursing. Now, bear in mind, when they ballot again for strike action, just for the ballot itself to meet the legal threshold, half of all the membership have to take part in it. So I think it's really in the balance whether or not they get there, and that's despite public support for the nurses and their strikes holding up pretty well at about 60%, and all of those people actually blaming the government for any disruption that comes about from the strikes. So I think if anything is potentially on the wane at the moment, it's actually the nurses' own enthusiasm for further strikes.
Carl, thank you.